from your perspective, in what ways do you think CI education is becoming more and more important today, especially in these days with AI and machines and things like that?
AI is the new kid on the block, but it's
Yeah.
a very important one because it's like bringing a new paradigm. I think that we as CI professionals, we need to relearn what CI is all about, because CI, as I said, is AI is really a paradigm shift. And to address the VUCA world, to address all the complexity, volatility, the speed to insight, so the speed at which the competitive environment is changing, we need to be flexible and adaptive to that. So if we consider, for example, John Prescott TAR model, so TAR means timely, accurate, actionable, and relevant. You'll see that AI will address most of, if not all of these factors, if you want. So timely, AI is supposedly to increase our capacity, your presentations. It will structure the text better, so it will actually kind of make it kind of easier for human to communicate in a higher level. That does not mean that you don't need the human, but it increases speed. So it's like the timely aspect can be addressed.
Yeah.
On the accurate side, accuracy, you have the machine. If you give the proper instructions, the right instructions, the machine will be accurate. There will be no the human error kind of a factor, right? And we can leverage that. So, tedious jobs that we need to do, we can actually kind of give that to the machine. The machine will do it perfectly fine. And, as I said, much, much quicker. If you do it quicker, you'll have more time to make decisions. So, it will be more actionable because, you have more time to actually kind of to ingest the insights, to understand what you can do with it, make better decisions. Yeah. So that's a really, I would say a big kind of a factor for adopting AI within CI.
Yeah. But how do you see AI affecting training and education in general?
AI can be, how can I say this, a tool that will help education become more customizable at scale, right? So, one of the issues that we always have, like when you're teaching whatever audience you think, is that you have, guys which are more expert than others. So, you need to address this balance. Also, you need to make the content available in a way that people relate to that content. For example, I can be more of a multi-choice guy. Other people can be more of a writing guy, So, having an AI can make it flexible and can make it customizable for people who are learning. So you can actually kind of, with AI, you can pick up the content and you just, let's just do this for me or do that for me. Or, I want more, I would like to do crosswords. Okay. We will have this, for example, on the academy, play with the content, and it's much easier because AI is going to make it much easier for teachers to actually kind of to do this. If before I would kind of record, for example, an online session, imagine an asynchronous online session, and I would need to record the whole thing, do my editing and stuff. Now you can do the editing with AI and you save a huge amount of time. So, the content can be updated more frequently. So it's always updated almost in real time. So that is a huge advantage, customization, but also being able to deliver the content in the way that people want to have it.
Yeah. No, I get that. I totally get that it will help sort of the scale, and especially for you as a provider of education. But isn't there a risk that all this online education, AI-based education, becomes a bit, how shall I say, a bit boring, or sort of when you lose the interactivity and there's no.
No, it's exactly the opposite. So it's much more interactive, because if you do an online course, just me talking to you, even if I have a collaborative tool, for example, normally when I do online tools, I have a collaborative tool and people, we have like a whiteboard that everyone can write on the whiteboard. That's even more interactive than an offline session, because you can have 30 students writing on the board at the same time, but in an online world you can actually have that. So what AI will allow us to do is like do that, but do much more than that. It's like making it you can interact with the content in your own way. You'll have, for example, and I can show you that. What we'll have also in the academy is like when the on-demand courses, which will be online, so everyone can do it at their own time and their own, when they are available, not because they have to do it at that time, and being worried about other stuff. So they can be, they can have the ad space to actually to focus on it. Is that, as the video is going, with AI, I can actually kind of introduce, whenever there's a concept, we can actually kind of people will be able to see the concept and see the definition in real time. You cannot do that without AI, because that was a huge amount of work. So now you can actually make this interactivity, if you want customized interactivity, you can make it available to participants, which you couldn't before, because it was too time consuming. The economics were not just there. The time that you would need to invest to make it a little bit more interactive, it was not the economics were not there. So now you can actually do it because it takes less time. So it's not that you are actually kind of making the things more automated, or it's exactly the opposite. So if you leverage the technology in the right way, as you said, the three key success factors is the same thing for a CI platform or for an online course.
From your perspective, now that we have the powers of AI, what skill sets do you think will become more important to have for CI practitioners and analysts going forward?
Also addressed on the keynote that I did in Nashville, and you were there as well. Both on the keynote properly, and also on the scholarly kind of a track, on the academic track. And you have a huge set of skills that you need. So, for example, one of the skills that you'll be able to need is to process big data. Okay, so for you to process big data, our brain is not enough. It's just not enough. So it's impossible for you to do that. So you need artificial intelligence to do that. You need to discover, the hidden patterns behind the data. So what we call in CI read between the tea leaves, right? Once you have the capability, the computational power to do in brute force and to analyze all the connections, you'll be able also to identify the hidden connection. Imagine that you just want to understand what people think about your brand, or one of your brands, okay, or your company, okay, or your product. And you go into Google reviews, and you kind of, you have 800 reviews. Now, with AI, you can actually kind of just run the algorithm, and you kind of you do topic clustering, and you see exactly what are the topics that people are talking about.
Thinking, because these are things that maybe the machine can do for you. But what I'm looking for is sort of what's left for us humans to do then. Is it sort of more like softer skills, social analysis? Well, I mean, what can we do in this equation?
So one of the critical skills is communication, and communication is both, at the beginning. So when you identify, for example, the key intelligence topics, you need to be able to elicit information, not asking just questions, because even sometimes you ask the question, people don't know really the answer because they don't have it thought of. So you need to understand what they really want. That's one thing. That's communication on the empathy side. But you also need communication on when you want to communicate the insights or the strategic alternatives, or what is your recommendation. You need to sell in. So that part of the communication, the machine can help you do that, can structure, can develop your pitch if you want. It can structure the pitch, but you need to do it, because it's people. If I was having a meeting this morning, and someone said, like, you need to the exponential thing. It's not just, oh, this is the right answer. You need and you also need a very, very important skill, which is, artificial intelligence flattens the data. When I talk about flattening the data, is basically like, you know, it identifies the pattern, but it doesn't see the outliers. The outliers are actually excluded. So you need human to, you know, to consider the outlier scenarios, because those actually are the ones who are going to be more disruptive. You also need to manage the outlier scenarios, and, you know, you need creativity for that. The machine does not create anything, so that's why you call it GPT. Yeah, it's a pre-trained transformer. It's not a pre-trained creative, you know. It's a transformer, so it just transforms with like one set of text into another set of text, but it's the same. The content is the same. It's not different, you know. It doesn't create anything new. Let's not forget, I would say, that one of the most important, which is the analysis. You know, the machine again is good at processing. The machine is very good in transforming data into information. When it comes to insights and possibilities, you know, like, you know, so when you're doing intelligence, you basically are creating hypotheses, right? Like, you know, this is the strategy for a competitor. You never really know for sure, but you want to be very, 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 very certain about that. So you are creating hypotheses, and you need a human to do that. The machine is not. It can only process what you already have. If you don't have it on the data, you know, like, the machine is not going to tell you that. It's completely impossible.
In your words, what is the Comintelli Academy for you, and what makes it different from other types of CI education?
Let me tell you why I think it's very different, and I completely say very different, because most training, or most trainings, even in general, not just in CI, but especially also in CI, they are based either on theory, and it's like it is what it is, like, you know what it is, you know, or it's basically, you know, it's the practice. So let's do this stuff, but then it's like very, very targeted and very specific. You know, how do you collect information from the web? How do you do this? You know the drill. Now, what we're trying to do here is basically we are trying to get the best of both worlds. So we are actually we are basing everything in science. So this is not my perspective, it's not your perspective, it's not, you know, it's not an organization perspective. So this is the scientific perspective. So everything is based on, you know, a solid scientific CI theory. Okay, this is one thing, which, you know, other courses are as well, but ours is definitely, you know, science-based, with the advantage that you know, my doctorate is on CI science, so we actually, you're talking to the guy who actually kind of did the thing in the first place. So you're going drinking to the source, and with all the theory that comes behind it. The second thing is the practice. So I'm not an academic by all means. So basically, you know, I started in companies. I covered marketing, sales, trade marketing, strategy, innovation, and then, you know, intelligence and strategy. So I'm also sharing my own experience of taking not just when I was in Heineken, my CI function to world-class level in 2.5 years, but also on the consulting side, where I actually kind of help other companies set their own CI functions, audit their CI functions, you know. So we are sharing the experience on how you can do it. So, you know, you don't have the time to make all the mistakes. So, you know, learn with other people's mistakes, and, you know, just make it kind of, you know, you hit the ground running. The third point, which is completely new, I've never seen this done in any other CI training, and at least that I'm aware of, is actually kind of integrating these with intelligence today. So, you know, you are integrating the theory, the practice, and the implementation. So, you know, you can actually kind of start doing the things on the platform, you know, the next day, and connecting this with the question that you asked me before about the skills. You know, you need to have, you know, to crunch all this information, and you need to, in a VUCA or like this, you need to cover the whole thing, you know. So having a place where you integrate all of the information, so you can actually kind of transform that into insights, is critical, and that is actually what we're going to do here. So I'm going to, you know, share the theory, the practice, the experience, but also how you can actually kind of implement that, in the platform. So, for companies which are already Comintelli customers, and have the platform, they can just do it the next day. And the ones who are not customers, so they have the hypothesis to actually to become customers and to actually do it the next day. So it's a software as a service, so that's quite easy to do.
No, and I like that it's very hands-on, and that things you will be doing will be done in the platform, which means that if you participate in the course, you can actually go home and do it the day after, more or less. Maybe describe the course a little bit more, since it's new, and I know we have 5 modules, and you've done this before. But what specific areas of CI will the courses cover? If you can just describe that a little bit.
Yeah. So it's very easy. You can see the whole set of activities that you need to do in CI. I'm not calling it intelligence cycle because the intelligence cycle is pretty much outdated, and we have our own way of the process of CI is actually kind of constituted by several activities. Okay, there's no real order on doing that. So the point is, we are going to actually go through all those activities, like started in planning. What is CI? How can you do it? What type of key intelligence topics, key intelligence questions, and how do you identify that? Okay. How you're going to monitor those sources. Basically, what we're going to do is we are going to use those implementation frameworks to, one of the models is the setup of the CI function. We're actually going to go through those implementation frameworks. But before doing that, we are going to go, through as I said, the introduction to the topic. How do you do data-driven decision making? How do you plan? How do you collect? How do you monitor? How do you transform the data that is collected into information? How do you analyze that? All the frameworks and so on and so forth. And then how do you communicate that as well? Because you can develop the best CI in the world if no one is going to make decisions and develop strategies, use them in a warning. There's no really point. So you need to communicate that, and then also how you can actually kind of leverage that into the next level. So this is we are going to cover the main phases, or the main I don't want to call it steps, but the main activities of CI. You are going to cover what some people still call the intelligence cycle. So we'll cover that. Okay, so it's just kind of a way to have a structured content, and we'll cover all those topics, and using as well. I forgot to say. So how do you use that in scenario planning? How do you use that in business wargaming? How do you use that to actually to make decisions? What types of decisions? How do you use that in early warning? This kind of stuff. So we'll cover. These are basically the foundation courses. Okay, we can do this online on demand. Okay?
So you don't need to do all 5 courses in this package. You can kind of pick and choose the ones that you are most interested or find most valuable.
Exactly. So you can, and it's on demand, so you can do it whenever you want. You can even do it as you go along. If you are doing the process, if you are going now, we're going to start the planning processes. The planning process in many companies, the strategic planning process, or the strategic design and then planning. You can actually kind of go through the courses as you want, and you can go through it as you go along in your process.
And are all of these courses online, and how is the interactivity with you going to be? Is there sort of any chance for people to communicate with you, or what's the format of the course?
So basically, I want it to be as interactive as possible. So you'll be interactive as you go along, But if you have any questions, you can actually drop me an email, or we are still seeing what is the best way. Probably we'll have even several channels, but you will have access to me as well, and that's also I would say a pretty new feature that normally other courses don't have. You have the course and that's it. But here you'll have access to me. So we want to give you the flexibility, but not taking the depth of knowledge and the possible to actually to ask questions. So, and those are, as I said, the foundational courses.
Are there any? Will you be using any like practical cases and examples and exercises to in this as well? And how will that be done?
The file. So, for example, this is you'll have the videos, but then as you go along, you have the glossary which is embedded in the video. So as you go along in the video, if someone mentions competitive intelligence, you can come and get it here. So this is the full glossary, but you also have it within the video, and I can show you a screenshot of that as well. Not just to go through all the video, but for example, you can have concept cards. Okay, so if you to make sure that you actually kind of you remember, you can turn the card and see what is the definition. And these are just examples. Okay, so there's going to be even more than this. Or for example, a quiz, a multi-choice. Okay, or let me go into this one is with a multi-choice here. So did I really understand what is all about? Because this is when you check your knowledge, or you can drag and drop. Okay, I'm just going to do some things here completely random. Okay, because I want to show you something on the end. Flashcards, make sure that I remember. So this is really good for you for the knowledge to actually kind of to stick in your mind. And you even have a summary at the end. So like at the end of each module or each course or each part of the course, you'll have the key points and the summary. And finally, you can even monitor your progress. So like if the ones that you answer, you'll see how much you progress on each of the course itself, but also how did you do in each of the questions that you answered.
And that means it looks like I mean, in this setup you can have some sort of a self-assessment, and that at the end of the course will there be some sort of certification as well, so that people can prove that they know something?
Yes, self-assessment, of course. This is basically it. This is the example of the self-assessment. We will also have the certification for the participants who actually kind of cover the whole thing. So they will have a Comintelli Academy certificate. And let's not forget that this is becoming more and more important, because more and more people are using the platform. So this is becoming also a skill that is recognized in the market. It's not just oh, do you know how to do CI? Yeah, I know how to do CI. I learned it from I have the solid background on the theories, or solid grounded on the theory, but I also know how to do it with the CI platform. And this is a skill that not that many people have. So if you are certified on this skill, this is another differentiating factor when you are applying for a CI role.